The 2024 New York Yankees are actually incredible. So far, this may really be the best Yankee team I've ever seen. Yes, I'm only 12 years old, but still, the 2019 Yankees were dominant, and so were the first half version of the 2022 Yankees, a team that had the MVP on their team. But the 2019 and 2022 Yankees also didn't have Juan Soto. This team barely has any weak spots. Yes, sure they do, but in terms of overall parts of the team, they're all strong. The bullpen is good, the rotation has been incredible, literally every single one of the starters has been awesome without Garrett Cole even throwing a single pitch yet, and the offense is great, mainly because of the fact that it has arguably the two best hitters in all of baseball. There are some other dominant teams so far this year, but the Yankees really do have a different feeling to them this year in a good way. This team could be special. So what do the great people of New York do as a result? Pit their own players against each other and boo them. That's a great way to support the cause, so welcome, and if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, don't worry about doing so. I'll earn your subscription by the end of this video. Maybe not some Yankees fans, but just listen, hear me out, and where not only I, but your own players like Aaron Judge are coming from. Shout out the YouTuber Tuv, by the way, who I just stole that intro from. It was too good to not use and wanted to make sure he got credit for it. Yankees fans love to boo, and not only just to boo, but to boo their own players. Now, is this exclusive to just Yankees fans? No, it couldn't be further from exclusive to the Bronx. Mets fans do it, Red Sox fans do it, Philly fans do it. It's even gotten to the point where fans of any team will do it, as Jordan Montgomery was recently booed off the mound in Arizona by Diamondbacks fans. Marlins fans booed Avisail Garcia the first series of the season after he started off bad, and what was overall a bad Marlins career. Are D-backs and Marlins fans as aggressive with holding their players accountable like the first few teams I mentioned? Obviously no, but as time goes on, fans everywhere now really are starting to do what I just said. Hold players accountable, whether it's as high stakes as a place like Philly or low stakes like Miami. The point is, no, the Yankees are of course not the only team with fans to let their players hear it when they're not happy. But the Bronx takes things to another level. In 2018, Giancarlo Stanton was booed after going 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts in Game 5 of the ALCS. Big moment, he was bad and the fans didn't appreciate it. Oh, wait, no. Stanton actually did go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, but it was April 3rd, the literal 5th game of that season, and Yankees fans were already raining down the Boo Birds. This is a guy who had just won the 2017 MVP award for the Marlins. He's clearly capable of being great. The team wouldn't have traded for him in his big contract otherwise. And credit to Stanton, he did acknowledge that it was a performance he deserved to get booed for. He didn't attack the fans or anything like that, but what else is he supposed to do? Go to war with them 5 games into his Yankee career? Well, Stanton ended up having a really good first season in New York. Wasn't anywhere near what he did a year before in Miami? No, but he was still a very productive bat in New York, went on to hit almost 40 homers, etc. Stanton hasn't been worth his contract overall while being Yankee, mostly because of his unreliability to stay healthy and actually play, but 2018 alone is a good example of why you should maybe wait more than 10 minutes of a player being in pinstripes to boo. In 2022, Aaron Judge had one of the best seasons in baseball history, hitting the most homers in American League history, drove in more runs than anyone that year, had the highest on-base percentage, slugging percentage. He didn't have a single weak point. Not one. The only way to stop him was to kill him. Thankfully, that didn't happen, and Judge was the pretty clear MVP winner. In 2022, that same calendar year, Aaron Judge was booed by Yankees fans. Now tell me how that makes any sense. Now, I also of course have to emphasize how it's not everybody. I'm sure there is a good portion of the fan base that finds the booing stupid, especially in cases like this, but when Judge struggled that October in the postseason, he was booed, the very man who led your team to this moment. That I just can't wrap my head around, and there's a big pattern of stuff like this over the years. Garrett Cole has been booed throughout the years, despite being a Cy Young contender, every one of them, and finally winning the award last year. How have Judge and Cole handled these experiences? With straight class. Neither of those guys have once shamed the fans or anything like that, even though, let's be real, they'd have every reason to in some of these moments. I get holding players accountable and expecting the absolute best and nothing less, but I also believe there are certain players who should be exempt from getting booed. Aaron Judge is the picture-perfect Yankee. Picture-perfect player for any team, but especially the Yankees. He's an incredible player, beyond amazing, on a fast track to the Hall of Fame. He's as classy as it gets, is always smiling, is good with children, doesn't like to talk about himself despite being the best. He's so humble. He's Derek Jeter on steroids. He's Derek Jeter if Jeter was bigger and hit way more homers. I don't know about you, but I feel someone like that should be an exception from any boos. moves. Same with Garrett Cole. From the moment he put on a Yankee uniform, he's been really good. The clear ace of the team like he was signed on to be. And he's also never done anything to disrespect the fans in any way. He should not be booed because of a few bad games here and there like Judge. It's going to happen. The best of the absolute best will have slow days. So if you're going to boo your own players, why not save those boos for guys who are actually doing really bad, like over a long period of time, or guys who disrespect the fans? It really is wild how no player is safe, no matter what. No matter how good you are, Jesus Christ isn't saved from boos. Last year, as he was getting booed on the way back to the dugout, Carlos Rodon blew a kiss to the fans. In Anaheim. Yes, despite being across the country, you cannot escape it. Rodon was still booed by tons of Yankees fans 2,790.8 miles away from where it usually happens. And Rodon's kiss is what you would think most players feel about the fans booing. I can't imagine most of the players are okay with stuff like that. It obviously doesn't make them feel good. Now, I do understand the whole accountability thing. I do. The whole, we're the New York Yankees, we expect nothing less than to be the best, and if you let us down, you're going to hear it. And booing players can make them feel more pressure and give them more of a drive to do better because it reminds them that they're in a higher stakes place like New York compared to Tampa or whatever. People expect more. Always. I get it. But people should still remember that this is your team. These are your guys. You should be backing them. Yes, if you're going to boo as a way of saying we expect better, so do better, boo. That's fine. But it's the extent that they go that, to me, feels disrespectful to what's supposed to be someone on your side. So far this season, Judge has the most doubles in the American League, the most homers in baseball, the most RBIs in baseball, the highest slugging percentage in OPS in baseball, is hitting over 300, and this is all a fancy way of saying he's been by far the best hitter in baseball this year through the first couple of months. Well, about a month and a half ago, Judge was booed by Yankees fans on his own bobblehead day after striking out a few times to continue the slow start he had to the season. It was mid-April, and because Judge wasn't killing it after like 12 games, he deserves to get booed? This isn't football. And are we really going to act like we didn't think Judge would get back to what he's doing now? Not that anything should be taken for granted, but I just cannot fathom the short-term memory baseball fans have sometimes. It's not just a Yankees thing. There were 7 seasons of success by Aaron Judge, insane success, seasons he put up MVP numbers to look at leading into 2024. What makes anyone think he's suddenly fallen off a cliff now and sucks? Like, are we really going to do that after 8 games? I don't care who it is. If Billy McDickhead started off his season like Judge, he doesn't deserve to get booed either. It was 2 weeks worth of baseball. Wait. And like clockwork, those boos and anyone who was genuinely angry at Judge or genuinely had doubts look incredibly stupid because, shocker, Aaron Judge is back to being exactly what has been his entire career. The only time he's unreliable is when he's hurt. It really made no sense. But the latest thing that Yankees fans did was what, in my opinion, was the most disrespectful I've ever seen a player treated in the Bronx. In the Yankees' last game at home against the Dodgers, Trent Grisham came up to the plate in a very pivotal moment. And while he was up, the Yankees Stadium crowd chanted, "We want Soto." Juan Soto has been a godsend for the Yankees this year. Of course, he's been one of baseball's best hitters and he's helped this team out a ton. Trent Grisham, on the other hand, has been the opposite. At the time of that at-bat, he was hitting under 100 on the season. He just hasn't been good at all. But Grisham has still only played about 28 games this year. He's mostly a bench guy, so it's not going to be easy for him to get consistent at-bats to get better and feel better. I don't want to make excuses for the guy, but do we really need to be chanting for another player while he's up? It's so disrespectful, and you can't in your right mind believe that the other players on the team will like that either. And as the fans were chanting, "We want Soto," Grisham decided to deposit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball for a 3-run go-ahead home run in a game the Yankees would go on to win. And as he was celebrating in the dugout with his teammates, Judge looked at him and said, "We want who? We want who?" And kind of being like, screw those people. And after the game, when asked about it, Judge understood that the fans want to see the best in moments like that, but clearly made the point that what was chanted didn't sit right with him.
Grisham works his butt off every single day. Soto's out right now. He's going to be back soon, and he's been carrying this team all year. And anytime you go up against good teams like this, and fans pay to come see us do our thing, they want to see the best out there. And but Soto's going to heal up, be fine. But man, Grish he's a heck of a ball player. And he showed up tonight in a big moment when we needed him. And I wasn't too happy with it, but I think he made a good point. went across there with that homer.
And I mean, yeah, there's no defending that. Yeah, anyone would want Soto up in that moment. But that doesn't mean you should blatantly disrespect another one of your own players, Soto's own teammate, while he's trying to help the team out. And it especially looks stupid when you cheer and go crazy for Grisham when he ended up doing exactly what you wanted Soto to do. Grisham would have had every right in that moment to flip off the entire stadium as he rounded the bases. Like, whose side are you on? Everyone wants Soto, but Soto isn't up, so root for Grisham. And if you as a Yankee fan have an issue with me saying this, then you also have an issue with Aaron Judge. Again, I know it's not every Yankee fan, but it's clearly enough for it to actually be noticeable and kind of an issue. It doesn't make a lot of players feel the desire to play for a team that has a fan base that isn't really fully on their side. And the ones being so extreme with the booing and even putting their own players against one another should stop. Especially when we're talking about potentially one of the greatest Yankee teams of all time. There's nothing to be that upset about right now. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.